Okay, war room, what is it? It's actually 4. My bedroom was the first one, people. Okay, I've had other war rooms. Besides that point, we're calling this one War Room 3. Okay, I'm in War Room 3. Oh boy, I've been out in the yard. It's terrible. Well, first of all, it's June 18th of 2022. And just for the record, if I had it my way, people, whatever is going on with this court stuff, it should be online. You know how they have those open courts, right? This should be an open court. But besides that point, in the meantime, I'm planting a few things in the ground just because I have the land to do it, right? I mean, I'd be frivolous and scandalous not to do it, okay? Considering that I have dirt to put things into so that it can grow and produce food. And being that I've been doing it for years and years and years and years and years, you'd think I would continue to do it. And I'm trying to. You see, that's the thing. But I'm not doing it with any real comfort because, you know, because of what the government's been doing and has allowed its employees and their you know, partner groups, whether it's the private sector or whether these people are paying out bribes to get other people to do things just so that, you know, people like me get derailed, right? You know, or frazzled or whatever. Like Julian's sister, you know, like I'm putting things into the ground and I'm wondering if she's going to come along and find them and poison them and then accuse me of poisoning Amari because I gave him bad food that came out of my garden. Right? One day I can come on YouTube or BitChute and, oh, well, gee, we all got all sick from eating some squash that was grown in the garden. I wonder why. I wonder why, people. Amari almost died from a squash that is anti-poisoned. From a squash that is anti-poisoned. Okay? So there's that cat on the road just being, you know, right? Like, when do you just clean up the freaking mess, man? I shouldn't have to worry about shit like that at 60 years old, people. Under any circumstances. Okay? It's enough that she killed my fucking trees. Sorry, boo-boo trees. You know, went out of her way to put a little rectangle on my grass. Right? With pouring bleach that she comes on to BitChute and admits that that's what she did. Well, the trees anyway. You know, it wasn't raccoons that dug up my grass. Raccoons, they don't do it with intent. They don't do it uniformly to create a particular image when it comes to a rectangle versus raccoons tearing up your whole freaking yard looking for grubs. Like, you know, it's just whatever. Whatever. Through the cover-up of ShaMay's murder, this is the result of it, people. Okay? If they would have arrested Julian under suspicion of and really went out of their way to treat ShaMay's body with respect and done their forensic autopsy in a professional way, this lunatic wouldn't be lurking my yard, plotting and scheming what she's going to kill next. Okay? So much for yard work. That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to be positive about it. I'm trying to be proactive about it. I'm at the end of my rope with this yard because I've been in it for too freaking long and it practically made me blind. You know, all that grit and grime and histamines and dust and mold and algae and rotten wood and everything that I've come into contact all these years, trust me, played a factoring role. Under the blaring sun for 10, 12 hours, a day, every day, with a freaking whip on my back, just so I could have a home for my family, as my family's being picked off one behind one after another, without me even freaking realizing until it's too freaking late. To which this brings me to this video. They got me on some freaking triangle here. You know that pyramid triangle shit? They did it with Sierra, okay? Being that they're willing to talk about witchcraft and all this other shit. To which, when that subject comes up when we're in court, right, on MS Team, we can do it on the internet, but we can't make it public. How does that work, people? Okay? Now, I don't have any money to go off and buy a new Criminal Code of Canada. Not that these individuals respect it, because they don't, in my opinion, considering their pattern. Okay? But that's all I got. And this is what this stuff has been built on, is legislation, rules and regulations, mandates, and the Criminal Code of Canada. Okay? So I'm going to go on what I know. Because they've created themselves a mini trial, right? Based on 2 court cases that they're ignoring, in terms of, when you see you're wrong, you make a right. Those are their words, not my words. That's what they like to do in terms of justifying their courthouses and their employment positions. They're there to make a wrong right. That's what the judge can order, okay? In here somewhere, these are mine, okay? This isn't what they send me. I already got, people. You don't understand. I already got like 4 of these in a bin from Andrew the Dragon. At least 3. Okay? And I've gotten 2 more, and they're just getting thicker and thicker from the government with the same old crap that I already got. Okay? But they want to ignore what's in there. That's the problem. And I guess that's why they don't do public court, where people can just either, one, mosey on in, because it's not like you can go into the courthouse anymore and just show up and sit and listen. They've made it so that it's either on a phone by yourself on one line, or if you're lucky enough to have a cell phone, you can have a cell phone and have other people around you, right? But at the end of the day, you're still sitting in the freaking dark by yourself in the comfort of your home, or wherever you are, in your car. I've seen people do court stuff online in the United States, right? And they're sitting in their car as they're talking to the judge, or they're on their work break, and then along comes the boss. Like, what kind of bullshit is that, right? It should be inside a courthouse, and it should be open to the public, and better yet, it should be televised. No gag orders. Because then the legislation is in the open, and it's up for that debate. Okay? Otherwise, they just bury it. They just bury it. And they create themselves these little mini trials, to which I'm preparing for the mini trial. This is why I'm showing you this. I take it serious. They don't. Because for them, it's a slam dunk, people. They just pull out their freaking case law and they'll throw it out that way. Okay? But I'm taking it serious. I'm trying really hard, the best I can, right, to follow up with this mini trial that's coming in freaking July. Okay? In their triangle mode. Okay? In regards to, when I cited witchcraft and Satanism into my notice of civil claim, I did that for a reason, because I'm up against organized religion. And not only am I up against one kind of organized religion, but I'm up against 2 or more, okay, in regards to the Punjabi community, that they definitely facilitate certain outcomes through their organized religion in terms of buying up all the properties and then overinflating them so that they can profit, while families like mine end up being targeted to carry on with an underground economy that makes those individuals that participate in that type of activity more richer because they're not satisfied with what they have. And then you've got the actual take it out of the Criminal Code of Canada witchcraft. So now that these people that participate in that type of religion, organized religion, can do so freely, not so much necessarily openly, because it's so insidious to where it wants to harm, injure, and cause death. So why would they go running around saying, oh yeah, I'm a Satanist and I want you dead? But before that happens, we're going to make sure we torture you. Because that's how we sustain ourselves. They're not going to come and tell you that they're going to come into your house and steal from you. They're just going to come in and steal from you, and then they're going to walk away, and they're going to do everything in their power to never get caught. Well, this is the same shit, just a different pile. So, because of what they did to Sierra, I don't honestly want to keep this on for very long because I have to focus, right? I have to I have to go in and read my own words. I have to go back, and I trust in my own words, people, because I'm the one that did the work. I'm the one that sat there for hours and hours, months and months, and took the time to really study the issue, okay? And to be fair, literally, to be fair, so that there were no false accusations in there, okay? Outside of looking for justice when it relates to what I said. That was the whole purpose of doing what I did, was for justice. Justice for everybody. Because everybody was injured through whatever's been going on in my freaking life, through this organized religion that puts itself up on a freaking pedestal. Oh, well, we're married. You didn't get married, so therefore somehow that makes it okay for us to be predators and prey upon your family and exploit your family at our whims and do as we want, as we please through our networks. When your number is up. And because there's more of them, you get caught up in it, people. Your family gets caught up in it. And many disappear quietly and never to be heard of again. And everybody just settles with the rumor. But nobody ever really knows. Well, in my situation, we know. We know, and we're going to make sure, I'm going to make sure that they know. Okay? So, when they did what they did to Sierra, because Sierra was lured to her death. All right? How can I say this where I'm not going around and around and around with it? One thing, and I'm going to take notes. I'm getting ready for that mini little trial. Okay, and I'm going to bring up Sierra. Because they didn't even mention Sierra. They didn't mention Amari. They didn't mention Andre. They're just focusing on ShaMay and Uncle John. And they're not even talking about me and the targeting of me personally. Like, for example, when they illegally cut me off of welfare in 2002. I stated that in that notice of civil claim, okay? They can't just ignore that, all right? Just because it was under the BC Liberal government that came in with corrupt legislation doesn't mean that the NDP today, all these years later, isn't responsible for the outcome of those actions, okay? But let's get back to Sierra here for a minute, because this is important. Because it's a number game, right? And the number game falls into a pyramid or a triangle. The pyramid could turn, right? And when they did what they did with Sierra in terms of, we show up, we get kicked out, we get a big baby face, 6'6", 7" cop show up to guard the door, to prevent the family, right? Me, the mother, the brother to Sierra, the sister to Sierra, to be able to identify that it's Sierra so that we can finally let go of Sierra, because we ourselves can see Sierra is dead, being that we were called there. But no, the police and the coroner's office had to turn it into a freaking gong show, which is up on YouTube. Okay? And through that process, I have determined that Sierra was lured to her death, and that the individuals behind that closed door did something, because they were so adamant to keep us out, to prevent us from seeing what they were doing. In other words, I don't necessarily believe that Sierra was dead. That's what they told us, but that's never been confirmed. Okay? And then, because they realized that we weren't going to leave, that we were going to wait until they were done with doing whatever they were doing to identify Sierra's body before we leave. That's when they came in with their, well, it's an investigation now. There was some roughhousing, something we need to investigate. It's going to take 3 hours or more before you can identify Sierra's body. Why don't you go home? Instead of, because we were standing in the porch with the rain, okay? With that 7-foot fucking boo-boo cop, baby face cop, 6'7", okay? Looking like a damn baby. Okay. So anyway, we took the bait. We trusted them. You see, that's the thing. And it wasn't even going into the first hour, I said to my kids, Marcane, I said, we got to go back. I just don't feel right. And you know what? When we went back, people, because we went right back, the place was dark and empty. They turned off the lights. They had one cop car sitting in the front with some rude dude in it, and another one sitting in the back. But everything else was silent and dark. So they just took that as a cue. But honestly, I think they took Sierra's body out in that phantom car that came up from the back and speeded out of there. As you've got that body dude guy telling the cop that he didn't get the stuff yet and that he was coming back. Okay? He didn't say the body, he said stuff. Right? The cop asked him, "What did you get, the stuff or did you get the cell?" I can't really tell if it's cell or stuff. Either or, it boils down to the same damn thing. Because that guy, when he was walking out looking in his cell phone, by the time he got to the bottom of the stairs, he was smirking up at the top with the cops in their cars as he was doing freaking hand signals. I can prove that, people. And yet, to this day, and here is the freaking point, not once has a cop ever called me to tell me what ended with that investigation. Never nothing in writing, nothing. They had the coroner come and call me on the phone and tried to say that it was just an accident. It was fentanyl and nothing more, nothing less. For what it was worth, if that was the case, they would have allowed me to identify my own dead daughter's body. But they refused to do it. They turned it into a freaking gong show. They've left me always wondering what they really did behind that closed door to my daughter. To my daughter. Not my daughter's body, but to my daughter, okay? The daughter that they exploited for 8 years out on these streets, basically, okay? Okay, so now she's dead, supposedly. They take her body to Abbotsford. Now we're getting into this, whatever this thing is. Okay? And I think I phoned to try and identify it there. They said no. And then they shipped it to Coquitlam. So you got 1 point, Abbotsford. Then it went to Coquitlam over here. Right? And then I had to get her body shipped back to Surrey over here. So it's a point of 3. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. To finish their ritual, whatever ritual they had her on, in my opinion. Can I prove it? No. But I can suggest it. I can put it on the freaking table. And I can ask them what happened with that investigation. Being that they used an investigation that when you look at the video does not look like an investigation because there was too many people just willy-nilly going in and out of that place for it to be an investigation. But you can clearly hear they're saying it's going to be an investigation. Go home because it's going to take 3 hours or more. We'll call you. Don't worry. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You think the court's going to explain that one and get the government to explain that one, people? But now that they've got me back on that triangle, and here's the point of this video, right? You know, I'm like, okay, so I've gone to the Supreme Court in Vancouver. That's courthouse number 1. I went to New Westminster, right? With the ShaMay stuff and whatnot and the family as a whole, because it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? There's just more dead cats on the road, that's all. That's all it is, people, just more dead cats on the road, right? I mean, take it for what it is, right? You know, they treat you like you're fucking garbage, right? They try and make it sound like you don't have absolutely no intelligence, that you're of zero IQ, right? And that you don't deserve anything, you know, that you're just a pest, like worse than a pest, right? I mean, is that my self-esteem or is that my experience? Anyway, besides that point, so we've got the Vancouver Supreme Court, we've got the New Westminster Supreme Court, so Vancouver is 0.1, New Westminster is 0.2. Now they're sending me to Coquitlam in July because they're trying to fit this in before the trial date. You see, the trial hasn't been canceled yet, people. Now, when the trial date comes, I'm just going to show up with what I've got in freaking boxes. If it hasn't been submitted to court, well, then those ones are coming to court in boxes to show the judge that there's still more information. Okay? But I don't have the privilege of being able to photocopy the same stuff over and over and over again. This is their stuff. I already have like 5 of these or 4 of these, people. From the Vancouver courthouse with Andrew the Dragon. With the freaking, what is that called? The appeal in the Vancouver courthouse with Andrew the Dragon. Twice already from this one ministry. Because this is just the Attorney General. This isn't the one with the Solicitor Attorney General, right? Okay, there's 2 different kind there, right? If the other one was sending me the same stuff, oh boy, I'd have to go get a storage room just for paperwork from the government, people. Because it doesn't mean anything for them to spend that kind of money just to keep it out of freaking court. Right? But yet, at the same time, they're still playing their damn number games. And now they've got me in that freaking pyramid like they got freaking Sierra in that bloody pyramid. And being that's the case, will I get a chance to tell that to whoever I'm looking at through this MS team, assuming that we can even sign on that day? Right? You think they're going to take me serious? But then I'll be like, okay, well, if that's the case, then if there's nothing to be taken serious about it, why the hell did the federal government, take it out of the Criminal Code of Canada? And I'll pull up the freaking section. If you don't think that there's witchcraft being practiced through these types of activities through our courthouses and our parliament buildings and our freaking hospitals and all this other crap, then install it instead, reinstate it, I guess that's how you say it, back into the Criminal Code of Canada, so that people like me that get caught up in this fucking web that we can't escape at least have a chance to fight back. Versus, well, it's not there no more, so therefore it's okay. Lots of people are doing it now. Get over it, get used to it. But when you come to us and say that we came into your house and stole something, we're just going to flat up and lie in your freaking face. Because the federal government under the Criminal Code of Canada says that we can do that through our witchcraft, through our trickery, through our sorcery, our, illusions. So, I just figure I'm going to knock them out of the freaking ballpark. Get them off their number 3s. Seriously. Right? That's it. Right? How else do you break the cycle, people? Right? I don't know. Right? Other than you fucking bat. Right? You just bat back. That's what I'm doing here. I'm batting back. I'm batting back with my own freaking words, people. Okay? So, I have to read. Not that I can see. And I gotta take notes again. It's as if I'm the only one that takes this stuff serious. So that when that time comes and they start bringing up Uncle John and they're staring and they're looking at the paperwork that I've submitted, which goes back far as 1989 when it relates directly to Uncle John, 1995, 1996, 1998, frickin' 1990, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. You know, they can't just ignore it. Act like it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean anything, right? Has no substance, is frivolous. There's nothing frivolous about it. Any more than there was anything frivolous about this stuff. So what we got here, this one is Fraser Health Authority. Okay, it was a little bigger. And then this one is CIBC Bank. But it's the original Notice of Civil Claim. And then the amended one with all those lines through it. I gave myself 2 copies, just because, I was not happy to have to start drawing lines through it. And I didn't know where to begin because, in my opinion, everything counted. Okay? So, there must have been a reason why, when I did this, I wrote out those various sections by section, and so on, in here, so I wouldn't have to go into the criminal code and cross-reference and pull out another legislation and cross-reference. It should be, once I start reading, right, assuming that I can, because that's, right, they injure you, right? They make sure you're injured. The more you're injured, the easier it is for them to pick you off over here, right? So anyway, it should be speed read. But everything's glaring back at me. That's the problem. But I've got, what is that called? I got to the 3rd week of July to, refamiliarize myself with this, so that when I do get in front of them, I cite through the sections through, I wouldn't say memory, because I'm not going to remember it all, because it's a lot of information, but I'll be able to talk faster, because I have to talk fast. Because if I don't, it's too easy for them to railroad me. Not that they don't railroad me even when I talk fast. So, I have to, sticky tape, and so I guess, I don't know. From what I can tell, I have to double check what's going on here. But from what I can tell, I can't tell anything. Oh boy. Okay, from what I can tell is this part is the original notice of civil claim. Now that's just single page photocopy. Okay? And then from what I can tell, this part right here has all those lines through it. Because I had to bring it down to 20 pages. But this part here, I don't see any lines through this, so I don't know. Oh wait, yes, no, here they are. There's lines through this. I think, if I remember correctly, when I did this, I only basically drew those lines through the statement of facts, and I left the legal basis and the relief sought untouched, because honestly, I didn't know how to amend them. I didn't even know how to write them. So I didn't pretend that I knew what I was doing or even made an attempt to do it. Obviously, they called me negligent for not doing it because I didn't follow court orders. I remember hearing that along the line through Andrew the Dragon. But besides that point, I gave it my best effort. And that's why when I did ShaMay's, it's not even ShaMay's lawsuit, but because of what happened to ShaMay, it provoked me to file another one. If that would never have happened to ShaMay, what would I have done with these existing ones, people? I don't know. We never got to that point because the judge that we seen in February of 2018 is the one that told me to take it to the cops. Okay? He didn't even dismiss it, people. I didn't hear him say it's dismissed. What I heard him say after I rattled through all that legislation, all those sections under the Criminal Code of Canada, he got flustered, he took a break, he had the sheriff chase me around in the courtroom and followed me out into the hall there in the big foyer, right? And was talking and confronting me and telling me to do this and that. And okay, so then we go back inside. And then, he started up again with his crap, right? And I said, no. There's this, and this. This is why I have to read this over again and familiarize myself with it. Because it's really hard for them to balk at the legality of what I'm saying when I cite it directly to certain sections within the Criminal Code of Canada. Does that mean that I'm right on, spot on every single section? No, probably not. But at the end of the day, I'm more than 3/4 right, people. Okay? And that's just with the Criminal Code of Canada. That has nothing to do with the provincial legislations. So because of that, he just said, go take it to the cops. Have them investigated. Because I told him I wanted to investigate. You investigate. No, take it to the cops. That's how he ended the conversation with me, people. So in my mind, I walked away thinking, okay, I didn't know how to do it, first of all, right? I figured I'd try to do it, gather up what I could, take it to, like, I would have to take stuff like this and the evidence to the police somehow, some way, right? That was going to take a little time. And I was trying to figure out who to do it, how to do it, and who to give it to. You know, that was a big one too. Well, take it to the cops, but take it to who? You know what I'm saying? It's not like the cops out here really care about too much, okay? In terms of, when Mark Kane had the cops called on him at that freaking care facility because he wanted to talk to the social worker to find out what happened to Uncle John, and that woman decided that she just wasn't coming downstairs and called the cops on him. So he almost got arrested because of what they did to Uncle John in terms of Fraser Health Authority and their staff. Why should my son even be in that position where he's being intimidated and almost arrested, right, for making inquiries about his loved one that's been in his life since he was born, and then just suddenly disappears, and the cops don't give a shit? So with that in the back of my mind, who do I take it to? Certainly nobody in Surrey. That was in February. April 11th, ShaMay was dead. With CIBC Bank coming in with their freaking response with their number game that afternoon. And it's clear that they're siding with Fraser Health Authority. And they're trying to just smooth it over without investigating what happened. Really happened. Because they chose to ignore what was inside. What I wrote. So when I made the reference, when I did, so with what happened to ShaMay, I mean, that just was a turning point, people. It was just a turning point. Uncle John, yeah, but at the end of the day, the deeper I got in with ShaMay, the more urgent it became to stop it from happening again. And Uncle John just happens to be a heavyweight in that process. You see, that's the way I see it. He's a heavyweight. Okay, they may think they got us on their three-pointed pyramid, but he's rocking it, people. Okay? He was a nobody in this province, but he's rocking these courthouses through legislation, rules and regulations, mandates, and the Criminal Code of Canada. And that's why when I did the relief sought, I said just make reference to what's already here. Because it's never been dealt with. So, I have a lot of reading I have to do. And a lot of note-taking. Blind as a bat. As I work in a yard, wondering if some lunatic, literally a lunatic, that is allowed to go out in society and cause mayhem. Because it's like that, covering up the dirt, right? Just covering up the dirt. They need her to cover up the dirt of their dirt. Right? Because if they would have done the right thing by ShaMay the first time, that little, would be in her place. Okay? She wouldn't be allowed to roam free, to cause mayhem and havoc and fear and anxiety and quite possibly injury or death. Because you don't know what that little bitch is putting in my dirt. when it comes to plants and trees and stuff like that. So let the government sit on that one. Seriously. I'm just pathetic. How many years, people? Just another dead cat on the road. Like, how many dead cats do they have out there? But I'm trying to stay positive. So the game plan for today is, the goal was just to pull them out. I don't have to read them just yet. I got time for that. That's not the priority. But we know what we're going to do. Okay? And because I know how I wrote it, it's going to be easy peasy reading because it's already written in, and there's going to be times I'm going to come back and we're going to sit and we're going to read, and I'm going to show you how easy I made it for the ones that read it, that understand about legislation and all this other crap, so that we could seek justice and prevent this kind of stuff from happening to other people. Okay? So I did bring out both, right? Because they're a little different, right? And I already started notes from when I was in court. You can see. So this is good. This is really good, actually. This we can kind of thank, I'm pretty sure it was Andrew the Dragon. We can thank Andrew the Dragon for this one, because when we went to court, because I stood with him a couple times, right? He had, I don't know if it was these. I think it was these. Because you want to use stuff like this where the pages are together. Right? And I don't know how he did it. I just noticed, right? I did what I did my way. And I've left myself enough room here, you can see, to go back in here and just even bring it down into finer points, so that when I have to start, well, hold on a minute here. We're going to talk about this right now. Let's see. What are we looking at? Your Honor, what are we looking at? Let's just double check. I'll just give you an example. So we're talking about something, and then my mind goes bing, 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 bing. We're talking about personal care. Oh yeah, you see, they don't want it to get that far though. Right? Because that's when you're getting into the juicy stuff in terms of how they didn't follow their mandates and their regulations and their rules, or even the legislation for that matter. That's what they're trying to bypass altogether. Personal care includes the following matters. And of course, I used to have to write small, right? Go figure. Right? Respect of an adult. Diet, dress, and hygiene. B. Health-related activities, including medications. C. Social recreation. Okay, so I just wrote down, make decisions about the adult financial affairs. B. So adult presumed to be capable. Yeah, you see, this is the stuff I need to know, because, well, I do know. It's not my job to monitor these things in relation to a union. But that falls under the Something Consent Act. It falls under a different act, I think. Power of attorney. Now, this is all power of attorney. Power of Attorney Act. I actually submitted that as reference, but I have to photocopy it because we're using the one from 2016. That's the one I put on the flash drive. Right? But they won't accept the flash drive. So today, that's the mission for today, is to find those papers, number them, get them ready for photocopy, add them onto the list, and then go back to the courthouse, resubmit those photocopies that were on, you know, the information that was on the flash drive that can be done through paper. I still don't know how to submit the sound recordings and those things yet. But anyway, I'm going to have to fill in the blanks. So that, because my eyes don't see like they used to, right, I'm going to have to just be more specific as to what section, because I wrote this all out, people, right? So you got that. You can see. Only thing is I can't really see it anymore. Okay? And of course, I typed a lot of this stuff out too. So it shouldn't take much for my brain to be able to remember whatever it was that's in here, right? Once I get back into that fray. Do you see? Now this is other different sections, okay? So they can't say, I didn't try, people, okay? They can't say that. This is why I want to take it to trial, because then if we can take it to trial, then we can get into these papers and get into specific points and really discuss it. That's one book. Here's more. How many pages? Oh, only one on this one. So we can follow up on that one. This one has more. This one has how many pages? I'll count them. Let's see. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, 21. 21 of those I have to go through and highlight at least what I've got started. And when they start with their antics and say that my photocopy of my original enduring power of attorney from 1990 is not admissible because they think I manufactured it on my own, and that's how they want to justify by throwing it out if they're not using some funky case law to do it, I can say, but Your Honor, don't forget, we've got this, and this section under the Criminal Code of Canada, not to mention our provincial laws of this, and that. And then they'll say, we'll take it to the cops. Go take it to the cops. Have the cops investigate it for you, Miss Charney. That's what the cops are there for. And I'll be like, no, Your Honor. The cops are there to stand outside of little houses and keep families out from identifying their dead loved ones, right? Well, the cops are feeding you a whole bunch of okie dokie with a fake investigation that you never even got an answer on in regards to, well, did they arrest John Hart or did they set him free? Which one was it, people? But you see, John Hart was the bait. He's the one who lured Sierra to her death, okay? He got paid for what he did. He got rewarded, people. That's why he did it. And he got off on it. Because he's connected to that little gang. That clearly isn't godlike. There's nothing godly about these individuals. To which, that's why they took themselves out of the Criminal Code of Canada. To make it so that they're safe. Nobody can hold them to account. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's right, if you want to take it to a spiritual realm. So right now they got me on that Vancouver courthouse, New Westminster courthouse, and freaking Coquitlam courthouse. But I'm not on lockdown, people. That's Uncle John, the heavyweight, rocking the courthouses, okay? Just remember that. He's rocking them, all right? He used to stand over the premier's desk with a cigarette hanging over his mouth, cleaning the premier's desk. That's how old and far back Uncle John goes, okay? Right? And he did that for years and years and years and years and years. He cleaned every inch of those parliament buildings. And he used to brag on about it. The lieutenant governor's house. He used to brag on about that. He was so proud that he cleaned that house too. So just think, a janitor is rocking the courthouses, okay? He's rocking them. That's the way I figure it. He's rocking them. And he taught me good. The only reason I know anything about politics is because Uncle John mentored me. Yeah, he monitored me too, but he most definitely mentored me. He encouraged me to found a nonprofit, to which, because of his influence and mentoring, just kind of put me in a whole different ball field in relations to, I came into contact with politicians and blah, 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 and now this. So no more talk. I'm tired. I was in the yard yesterday planting. Like I said, planting, wondering when I'm going to come out there and find it dead. Or wondering if it's being poisoned and I'm going to end up eating something and I'm going to get sick from it. Or worse yet, the kids are going to get sick from it. And the government doesn't want to investigate ShaMay's death. Okay. More reason to investigate ShaMay's death.